Hi everyone, we're here to see how that carrier strike group 3 from the South Chinese Sea could make its way towards the Iranian Persian area of operation if given an order, which has happened presumably. We are starting the scenario to have actual times present here, and I've started it on January 14th at noon Zulu time. To presume that that's the time when they kind of received the go. I've already positioned it a bit further down here, so not as far north as the Scarborough Shoal, but just down here. You can see where it is, the CSG 3. And on the other side of the globe, I actually put in the bush somewhere around the North-South Carolina coast in case it would move also. And so that we can get a gauge on the time it would take. The most important factor here to me is the transit times at places that can be verified by open source intelligence. In this case here, we have a very, very strategic position here with the Straits of Malacca and Singapore. It will likely surface material, and from there on we can be rather precise, I think. So here is the course that I plotted. You can see it here. This is the course of the ship going towards the AO. I think it will be sufficient somewhere around here. And we can already see that it's quite far away, just from 3,000 nautical miles, as we can see on the cursor from the selected object. But that's as the bird flies, so to say, and not the actual naval routing. So that's quite the way. And we can see here we've set this ship to travel at 25 knots as the strike group speed. And we've also added an Arleigh Burke DDG here because we assume it has full tanks, which it probably will not in real life. And we will see how the gas works at 25 knots. And on the other side, it's just a Ford carrier, also set to 25 knots, with this routing here directly to the Azores, then through the Straits of Gibraltar, down at Sicily, and towards somewhere the coast of Israel, probably even a bit further north. And then we will see when it arrives at that AO. I don't think it will move down here. It will actually put it away further from Iran. So let's see how it all plays out. We'll be in very high time acceleration here because we're simulating a couple of days, right? 14th of January, let's go. So we can see they just turned around somewhere around 1 p.m. 14th on Zulu time, passing down here towards Singapore. This is really the benchmark that we're looking for right now. As we can see here, the group fuel, the non-nuclear Arleigh Burke is already eating up its fuel because at 25 knots is actually quite fast as a sustained speed. If we would be sprinting at 35 knots, it would be a lot worse even. So we can see here, I'll pause it in a second. So we are here somewhere, local time, in the evening of January 15th, local time. That ship should be somewhere around the Singapore Straits. This is pretty much at the time of this recording. If you look at the watch right now, so if it would be interesting to see how that transpires. And we just keep going, and the port is just soldiering over the Atlantic at this speed. So let's see. I think that after this point, we will hardly ever get a glimpse of the location of the ship, at least from anything except random satellite finds, because of course it's difficult to find a ship at that pace, unless you're a nation-state actor. And as we can see here, already over 1/3 of the fuel of the Arleigh Burke is gone. So just arriving in the Indian Ocean, tanks are appearing to be half empty at this speed. It will need an underway replenishment, which is why I set the speed at 25 knots and not above 30 knots, which the carrier can easily do with its nuclear power, but not the escorts. As we can see, this is a rather unimpeded run over the Atlantic for the Ford. And here we are approaching the rather busy waterways south of Sri Lanka and entering Indian waters or Indian sphere of influence soon. And we can see there is, I would say, a high chance that in this area they would have to at least do full underway replenishment for the escorts here. As you can see, they don't want to be in a low fuel situation, I would presume, generally, as in a typical mode of operation. And here they are already going rather low. Let's pause for a second and see that the bush is not even near the Gibraltar Straits yet. So hey, we're passing on the south of India. Close to some islands, but I think it will probably even have a bit more distance. And we can see that the Frank E. Peterson here, I think it's one of these more modern Flight 2 technology inserts, 2A technology insertion models. It's already running on fumes, but we're close to the target area already, which is good. So let's see, it's on the final leg, and the bush hasn't even passed the Straits of Gibraltar yet. And there we go. It's out of fuel. We will just leave it there as a marking on where it's running out of fuel. And about the time when the Roosevelt strike group here is approaching the area of operations, somewhere Monday to Tuesday, the Bush strike group can expect to approach the Straits of Gibraltar. So we can see here, as we can see, somewhere around Zulu, January 20th, midnight, that CSG will somewhere be in the area, give or take a day. We don't want to claim to be too precise here, but just a ballpark. And it's also on Monday evening, Tuesday is when we could expect the Bush to pass through into the Mediterranean. Of course, all the times we just guessed where the ships are. Tom has the great posting here on where it was at some point, but we're just guessing here. So that she has arrived and she's doing whatever it's doing now. I don't know. But so the Bush will be there, I think, a day late, 2 days actually. And that's how it will kind of roll out in this scenario, I think. So with the carriers involved, we will still have 4 to 5 days. So that's the case. I don't know why it's circling here. Sometimes this game. Why ever it doesn't want to go to the next waypoint, we don't know. But it's not going to affect the whole calculation here too much. And when we look at this, that CSG here, okay, it's trying to reestablish contact with its escorts, it seems. They kind of, they were here at the 20th, so we can see the Bush will be 2.5 days later. I did not expect that. I'm not a Navy guy. I didn't expect the Atlantic Ocean to be that much bigger in distance. But that's how it kind of pans out, right? Both from these positions and this position here, they will probably use tankers. That's why we're not seeing tanker movement yet. That can be there in a day from Germany or 2 days from the US. So there's no need to get moving for the tankers. And yeah, so we can see that it's a week from now. The Bush could arrive on the Eastern Med, and that's how it goes. Let's see how it plays out. Thanks.